a few months ago I made a crate, and I have a video out there, and also check out my website at woodlogger.com, and you can see the crate I made. But the intention of the crate was actually to make 4 crates, and it was going to be combined and make a coffee table. So I finally got around to finishing that project, and that's what I have here. So it's actually a total of 4 crates that I made. They're all kind of edged up towards one another, and it makes a cube in essence. And in the middle of it, I've got an inset for you can store almost anything there, a plant or a lamp or something. But it turned out great. I was really impressed. I actually like this quite a bit. I also put the table on casters so that you could roll that around a lot easier. So check out my website at woodlogger.com. I'll be sure to put some photos out there because I don't really show in this video how it gets finished, but I have a friend of mine who is a very talented distresser. She distresses furniture. So be sure to check that picture out and see how the kind of, I guess, the final piece turned out. And as always, be sure to check out my website at woodlogger.com for all the other projects and things that I have going on in my shop. So to get started with my crate coffee table, I've gone ahead and I've already made all of my crates. I've got 4 of them, and I have another video of how I made these crates, and there's also a link on my website at woodlogger.com where you can see this. But I made all 4 of these, and then the next step is to sort of lay them out in a cube shape, and this will just simply be the top, and then it's great because this will sit on the outside for storage. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on laying this out, and I'll take some measurements on how I'm going to cut the bottom that the crates will sit on. Okay, so I've got all my crates. I'm just going to lay them out in a cube shape, and then figure out my measurements for cutting the bottom that's going to sit underneath that all the crates are going to sit on top of. Okay, I think that'll do nicely. And then here in the middle, if you notice, I have an opening right here. But what I'm going to do, I kind of went back and forth on exactly how I was going to do it. I actually thought about getting kind of creative and building, another crate that kind of sits down in here, and you could just take it out, and you got yet another crate, right? But ultimately, I decided to do just a simple shelf that'll go in, and I have some extra slats that I didn't use that are going to fit in here just nicely, and so I'll just slide those in there and basically make a shelf that something recessed can actually sit inside, like a plant, or in this case it might be some toys or some crayons or something. I'm going to work on that next. Hey guys, so I had the bottom of my crate all cut. I just used a 3/4 inch piece of plywood for that. Before I attach this though, I'm actually going to secure on the inside of each of the crates. I'm going to lock them all down and attach them to each other. I think that'll just make it a little stronger. I did have a little bit of trouble trying to get everything square. I was off just a little bit, but honestly I think that's just going to give it a little more character, right? They're supposed to look a little rustic looking, and that's what I'm going to get. So I'm going to do that now.
So when it came to joining all the crates together, I just simply used 1 1/4 inch screws. I applied it to both the bottom and the top, and that really secured everything down pretty well. So when it came to securing the bottom of the coffee table, I just used, again, the same 1 1/4 inch screws. It might be a good idea to pre-drill the holes just to avoid any splitting. I went ahead and did that. I don't know. I guess it really depends on what type of wood you use. But at least in my case, I think that was a good decision on my part.
So I've got my bottom all attached now to the crates, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually flip it around. This is the top of the table, and I've got this hole right here in the middle. And you could actually leave it open. It would be kind of cool to maybe put a plant or a lamp or something in the middle. What I'm actually going to do though is I'm going to use some slats. I had some leftover slats. I'm going to kind of fill that in there in this top gap, and it's perfect because the width of the board fits just perfect in there. So anyways, I'm going to just glue this on there on this top slat so there's a slight indentation, and you can still see something in there, but it won't be as deep.
So for the middle insert in my coffee table, I decided to go ahead and just glue each of the slats in place. I used actually this is an exterior rated glue, but you could use interior as well. Just I applied it on both of the ends, kind of smoothed it out a little bit, and it works really well. Glue is really strong. It's actually stronger than nails once it's really bonded and sort of cured with the other wood. So I repeated the process for each of the boards and got them all lined up and spaced out just a little bit. And after I was all done and I had all 4 boards in, then the last thing really was just to put some sort of weight to kind of hold that in place. So I just used a low-tech solution and just put a paint can to kind of hold that in place.
Well, so I'm almost done with my coffee table, guys. I've got pretty much everything assembled the way I want. For the bottom, there's a lot of options. I could just leave it flat on the ground and let it just sit there. I thought about legs. In this instance, I'm actually going to install these wheels, these sort of caster wheels that kind of float around. So I'm going to do that next and see how that goes.
So to install the wheels, it's really an easy thing to do. The ones that I bought actually came in a package of 2, so I had to buy a couple packages, and mine included the template as well. I didn't use the template; I was able to eyeball that pretty easily, and it's just simply inserting screws into to the bottom of the coffee table.
Well, there you go. I've got all my wheels on there, and what do you know? It actually works pretty well, and it's fairly level too. So this turned out great. So anyway, be sure to check out my website at woodlogger.com. I'll put a final photo, I guess, out there of how it looked after it was distressed and finished. And also be sure to check out some of the other projects that I have going on in my shop. And if you haven't hit subscribe on my channel on YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe. And I'll see you next time.